Hi, today I'm working on 5.5, solving quadratic equations using the zero factor property. Basically, if you multiply anything by zero, you're going to get zero. So if you have two numbers, one of them's got to be zero if your answer turns out to be zero. That's basically what that is saying. So I want to go through here. I might have to split this video up, but let's just go ahead and get started. You guys, we have a quadratic equation where it's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That is known as standard form, where a is not equal to 0, because if it was, you'd have a linear equation. You would no longer have a quadratic term. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, if you guys are to solve a quadratic equation and it's already been factored for you, all you need to do is you need to set each one of these equal to 0. So 2x plus 3 equals 0, or 5x plus 7 equals to 0. And at this point, you need to solve for x. So I'm going to use red. So I'm going to minus 3 from both sides. And this tells you that you have two answers. When you have a quadratic equation, you normally have two answers. Okay? So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So one of my answers is going to be negative 3/2. Or, once again over here, I'm going to minus 7 to both sides. And I get negative 7. Then I'm going to divide by 5, because remember, your goal is to get x by itself. So these are your two solutions. When you plug in negative 3/2 into these equations, one of these will go to 0. When you plug in negative 7/5 into this one of them is going to go to 0. Anytime you multiply something by 0, you get 0. So that's our whole point. All right, the next one. This one, again, is already factored for you. If you have x out here, you still have to set it equal to 0. Or, now we have the other one, which is 2x plus 4 equals 0. So you take what's inside here and you take what's outside here, and you set both of them equal to 0. I don't have to do anything with this one, but this one here I have to work a little. So I'm going to move 4 over, and I get 2x equals negative 4. I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 2. And x is equal to negative 2. So once again, you have two answers. You have x equals negative 2 or x equals 0. When I plug those in, one of them will make that equation 0. 0 times anything is 0. All right, let's keep moving. Now we have this problem. We cannot solve this problem yet. It is not factored already for us. It needs to be set equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minus 8 from both sides. And I'm going to get x squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Now, from before, we factored things like this earlier on in 5.2, I think it was. So I'm going to go ahead and factor this. And I'm going to use the shortcut. And the reason why I can use the shortcut is I have a 1 here. The only way to get x squared is to get x times x. I'm now going to take this last number, which is negative 8. I'm going to find two factors when multiplied together give you negative 8, but when added together give you 2, because 2 is your middle term. I'm going to use 6. Well, I don't know. I'm not using 6. I don't even know where I got 6 from, but it just popped out of my brain. All right. I'm going to use, think of something. Oh, how about 4 times a negative 2? That gives you a negative 8. 4 plus negative 2 gives you a positive 2, which is your middle term. All righty? So those are my two factors. Now, one's going to be a positive 4, one's going to be a negative 2. And you're finished. That is it. All right, let's do the next one. All right, again, I have a problem here. It's not set equal to 0. And we always want my a to be positive. So I'm going to move over these terms. Okay, I'm just going to subtract them both. So I'm left with x squared minus x minus 30 equals 0. Again, I can use the shortcut, which is so nice. I don't have to do the AC method. The only way to get x squared is you multiply x times x. Now, negative 30 is your last number. I need two numbers when multiplied together give you negative 30, but when added together give you negative 1, because that's your middle term. So I have negative 6 times 5, which gives you negative 30. Negative 6 plus 5 gives you negative 1. So I found my two factors. I'm going to have a negative 6 here, and I'm going to have a positive 5 here. Now, once again, I got to set both of these equal to 0. I don't know if I did that on the last problem. I got to double check because for some reason I completely forgot. So again, you factored it. It's factored. Now you have to set each one of them equal to 0. This one here is going to be 6, or this one here is going to be negative 5. Let me go back real quick just to make sure. I didn't finish this one. Once I factored it, I still need to solve it. So in order to solve it, I set both of these equal to 0. Totally forgot. I'm so sorry. Set both of these equal to 0. Now solve for x. Move the 4 over. And you get x equals negative 4 or x equals 2. So you have two answers and you're good to go. All right, next one. This one says solving a quadratic equation using the zero factor property. That's what we just did. Solving a quadratic equation using common factoring. I'm going to move everything over. So I'm going to move the minus, I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. And I get 3m squared minus 9m minus 30 equals 0. Now, before I can start factoring this, I need to ask myself, like factoring meaning, you know, using the AC method or the shortcut method, I need to see if they share something. And if you notice, they all share a 3. So I'm going to factor out a 3. Now, when you factor out a 3, you're left with m squared minus 3m minus 10. Now, at this point, this is the only thing that I'm interested in. That's the only thing I'm interested in. I'm going to factor that. Now, because there's a 1 right here after I factored out a 3, I don't have to use the AC method. I could use the shortcut method. The only way to get m squared is m times m. I have a negative 10. I need to find two numbers when multiplied together that give you negative 10, but when added together give you negative 3. So I know that negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. I know that negative 5 times 3, I don't know where I got 3. It's been a long day. I'm so sorry. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 3. Those are my two factors. So I have a negative 5 and I have a positive 2. You've got to solve this so you're not finished. You're going to take what's inside these parentheses. I don't care about the 3 on the outside. There's no variable, so I don't have to worry about it. So it's going to be m minus 5 equals 0 or m plus 2 equals 0. These ones you can do in your head. The answer is going to be 5 or m equals negative 2. And you finished. You factored it. All right, next one. I forgot to, I think I'm going to stop here and because we have a lot of problems to do. So I'm going to stop here and go on to the next video. I don't know how many minutes that was, but I think we've done a lot.